Right. I thought I'd make this video just fresh after watching the Patriot gets like how what's the best way to describe the Jet get bombed by the Jets. Excuse me for the 9/11 reference there, but yeah, look, and I guess look, it was what I expected, and but the Jet and Aaron Rodgers, the quality that the Jets have and the defense, it's pretty much it wasn't like spectacular. Oh, the Jets going to win the Super Bowl and all that, but it was solidly good against a Patriots team that who while the defense was still passable, but yeah, just the offense is just absolutely laughable, and it's just as well that they're only in the only primetime game of the season. This was their only primetime game of the season. At this stage, I mean, unless the Patriots will only appear again in primetime if it was really down to the other team, if it was the Bills. But then again, they never pick. I mean, they never. When have they ever picked one where there's one big team there and the other that's completely irrelevant? But yeah, look, I think what a big point, of course, Drake May came on for the last couple of minutes for the Pats and looked like an absolute rookie. Look, he had some good moments. He made a run to the sideline. You could see that his pocket presence is still not great, but he was able to read the game and make that run. He threw a laser a pass lead on to get into the first goal position. So a good time to make his NFL debut, but clearly not ready. He's got to learn. Look, I know Jacoby Brissett's not exactly the greatest quarterback to learn for someone, but he is an experienced professional who's played the NFL, for a long time. He knows what to expect from these teams. He knows the AFC. This is the sort. He is, by all accounts, the best mentor that he could have. I mean, just because I mean, how often are you going to get someone like Peyton Manning to be a rookie behind? It's like that, or Tom Brady. That just never happens. I mean, yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, who was effectively an apprentice to Tom Brady, and he couldn't get game time. What I'm saying is, yeah, look, he just this was always going to be a rebuilding year for the Patriots, and look, I guess the one thing that I don't look, I think that is you've got to say there's one thing positive that the Patriots do have for all the issues for all the things that are going on, the Patriots do have a very sound front office, and 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 they're not going to make silly decisions to where that would jeopardize Drake May's career, and I guess that's kind of leads me to the point that I was looking at a stat on Thursday Night Football where no rookie has thrown a touchdown pass in the first 3 games of this NFL season, and look, that's not surprising, but I guess it kind of really highlights a problem that's been going on for the last couple of years. So I know in this age of social media, there's so much more available. And YouTubers like myself, Urinating Tree, 5 Point Vids, we know the game, and like the 2021 NFL draft, your Lawrence Wilson, talking about what a bust that was. But there's there's a difference between constructive criticism and actually abusing someone, and I think there is valid constructive criticism. Like they are just organizations out there who it's not so much on those kids themselves. There is definitely talent in there. I think that it feels like the NFL has become a point where teams are trying to teams buy the golden goose. They just don't know how to use the golden goose. They don't know how to provide the materials around the golden goose. The exception, they're trying to find the next Mahomes, and they're not trying to do the donkey work to get there. And the Chiefs took time to develop Mahomes. Mahomes was a star right from the goal, but it was always going to be rough. They gave him time. They needed to build tools around him. The Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen was rough in his first season, but they gave him time. They acknowledged he was a project. They made sure they got the coaches around him, and they built a team around him. And you're looking at the Houston Texans now. They're building. They know how valuable C.J. Stroud is. Look, they've chucked him in because there was not really any other option, but he was NFL ready. See, he's a one-off talent that he's the exception there. That he was pretty much NFL ready to go. But even then, they are giving him time to. that it is clearly still a project that needs to be done. The defense is very good. They're finding weapons there. I think what I'm trying to say here, like, and this is an indictment, against like your Panthers, Giants. They're all hoping for this magic bullet that they draft. When you draft, they're thinking they're trying to draft this magic bullet who's gonna get them into the playoffs, make them more relevant. Like your Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. They think they draft him and he's going to turn everything around. It does not, unfortunately, and the NFL has just evolved. That's not how that's not really how it works anymore. Teams have got to, they need to sit behind someone experienced. I'm not saying that the Patriots way is the right way. But I'm just saying, like, I think what I'm saying is that NFL teams franchises have to start changing the way they think. Otherwise, we're going to see more and more talented quarterbacks. The fact is now, the problem, and I think that's been highlighted, the decline in touchdowns. There's been more field goals. The reason for that is that we are losing. They're just, we're apart from Mahomes and Allen and Herbert. There is just not a whole lot of, there's a big well of really average or poorly developed quarterbacks who do have the talent, but they just have not developed as much as we would have liked. And that really comes down to the franchises. It really comes, I guess, there's a bit of, as I said, the social media element does come into it as well. And I know, and owners do tend to read into that. But at the same time, there are plenty of NFL fans who know how to read it. Look, I guess the criticism of Bryce Young's are fair. Yes, I know the Carolina situation is a bit of a disaster, but Bryce Young, I know, I saw him in college, and look, he's good. I mean, he deserved to win a Heisman, but he was just too short. There are short quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, but they do have some they're athletic, reasonably good physique there. Bryce Young I knew Bryce Young was going to be a bit of a bust when he came in because he just did not have the physique development to be able to play in such a tough environment. And that was my concern there. And the fact that he's got Carolina, look, he's benched now. I don't know if the damage is beyond repair now for Young. And it's sad to say, it's a shame. He's barely in his 20s, and to see him it's really tragic for a young person. And there are just so many quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. I know that the jokes out there, but it hasn't really helped that the organization that they set. So really that this is going to be a chronic problem that could possibly destroy the game. That we're going to be robbed of these stars, and we're just not really going to have anyone who stands out. So, and what we're left is possibly system quarterbacks. Nothing against Brock Purdy, by the way, but system quarterback. We don't want a whole league of system quarterbacks. We'll just as like in football, we want to see some variety in the sport. So that's my thoughts. But look, what are your thoughts? Does the NFL have a bit of a problem with its rookies? I'd like to hear your thoughts. And if you like this video, feel free to like and don't forget to subscribe.